And I have 2:00, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, time having arrived, I call this special meeting of the Brockton Development Authority to order. Need a roll call for quorum to start the meeting, Tom, if you could do that.
Commissioner Roberts,
Here.
Commissioner Texera,
Here.
Commissioner Trask,
Here.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Here.
Commissioner Sullivan.
Here. The Brockton Housing Authority will meet virtually on Thursday, September 23rd, 2021 at 2:00. Due to social distancing guidelines related to the COVID-19 state of emergency, this meeting will be held remotely, not at the Brockton Housing Authority's offices. The public is invited to view and/or listen to the meeting via phone, computer, laptop, or tablet. To do so, download the Zoom Cloud Meeting app in any app store or at www.zoom.us. At 2:00 on September 23rd, 2021, click on to join the meeting and enter meeting ID number 856-4599-7597, passcode 858232, or use the link http://zoom.us/i/856-4599-7597. You may also join by calling the conference line at 1-646-558-8656 at 2:00 on September 23rd, 2021, and enter the meeting ID 856-4599-7597, passcode 858232, followed by the pound sign. The board chair will instruct participants on appropriate time and manner for public comment during this meeting. Tom, we already had the roll call. That's done.
Yes,
This is the annual meeting of the Brockton Housing Authority Development Corporation. The meeting has been called to order. So I am going to nominate and appoint A, President Timothy Sullivan, term 9/23/21 for 1 year to 9/23/22. B, Treasurer David Texera, term 9/23/21 to 9/23/22. Clerk Thomas G. Tebow, term September 23rd, 21 till September 23rd, 22. Board of Directors Timothy Sullivan, term September 23rd, 21 till September 23rd, 26. David Texera, term September 23rd, 21, September 23rd, 26. Carol Roberts, term September 23rd, 2021 till September 23rd, 2026. Ernest Pettiford, term 9/23/21 to 9/23/26. Janet Trask, term 9/23/21 to 9/23/26. Thomas G. Tebow, term 9/23/21 to 9/23/26. Ernie, I need you to move that,
So move.
and I need a second, Janet,
Second.
and we need a roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Commissioner Sullivan.
Yes. In item 3 on that list, we have to vote to file annual reports for the Brockton Housing Development Corporation for filing of years 2012 through the present. I need a motion. You can move that, Ernie, as well.
So move.
And a second, Janet.
Second.
A motion's been made and properly second to move item 3, which is to file annual report for the Brockton Housing Authority Development Corporation for filing years 2012 to the present date. Roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 4, we need a vote to establish the Brockton Housing Authority Housing Development Corporation as a registered 501(c) nonprofit organization. You can move that, Commissioner Pettiford,
So move.
In a second,
second,
a motion's been made and properly seconded to establish the Brockton Housing Development Corporation as a registered 501(c) nonprofit organization. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Pettiford,
yes,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Item 5. Commissioner Pettiford, we need a motion to adjourn, if you could move that
so move.
in a second.
second,
A motion's been made and properly seconded to item 5 adjourn. The roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes,
and Commissioner Sullivan.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous, and that meeting is over.
Very well done, Mr. Chairman.
That only took 6 minutes, Tom. You were 4 minutes off.
That was pretty good, Tim.
Well, we got the business done to get us up and going on that area, so that's another step in the future of the housing authority and getting more money in to fix all the things that we need to fix.
Yeah, it's a good move, and it's something, like you said to me, Tom, this has already been in place since 2010 or 12. It will just reactivate it, that's all.
Yeah. It was used to develop the Hamilton Wade and the Douglas House back in the 80s. And then it was kept up until about 2012, and we haven't filed reports since then. So we're just re-energizing it, rejuvenating it.
Sounds perfect. All right, so I didn't have to read off the governor's COVID-19 for the first meeting, but I do have to read it off for the second, because I'm not sure who's listening and who isn't. This is an open meeting to the public, so anybody can jump in. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and state of emergency, on March 12, 2020, Governor Charlie Baker issued an executive order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20. Pursuant to the order, public bodies are temporarily relieved from the open meeting laws requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. On April 1st, 2021, it was voted to go one more year to extend it to April 1st, 2022. And just to start the regular meeting, I'd like to welcome everybody. This is the regular meeting. It's 2:10. The regular meeting of the Brockton Housing Authority. If we could all rise for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I just wanted to read off everybody's names that are here. On behalf of the Brockton Housing Authority, Timothy J. Sullivan is the chairman, Ernest Pettiford is the vice chairman, Janet R. Trask is the member, David Texera is the treasurer, Carol Roberts is the assistant treasurer. And we'd like to welcome everybody to this regular meeting. Item 1, Mr. Tebow, roll call.
Commissioner Roberts,
here,
Commissioner Texera,
Yeah.
Commissioner Trask,
here,
Commissioner Pettiford,
here,
and Commissioner Sullivan.
Here. Item 2, approval of the minutes of the special meeting of July 29th, 2021. Item A in the packets. Mr. Tebow.
Members of the board have had an opportunity to review the minutes. I found them to be in order and would recommend that they be accepted as written.
so move.
second it,
Second,
Ernie already did it, Janet. A motion's been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettiford. The motion is to approve the minutes of the special meeting of July 29th, 2021 as written. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Item 3, hearing of visitors. I see a bunch of names. I don't know if we have any hearing of visitors.
Let me ask, is there anybody who would like to speak to the board about any item? I do not see anybody who has expressed interest, Mr. Sullivan.
I'll just ask one more time. Is there any hearing of visitors by anybody?
Mr. Chairman, I believe everybody who's here is either an employee of the Housing Authority or has business before the board to be appointed.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll move to item 4, correspondence. Mr. Tebow?
You have 3 pieces of correspondence. One is a letter from HUD, again, redesignating the Brockton Housing Authority as a high performer, 100% in our rental assistance department, Section 8 program. This has been year after year because of the good work of that department. Brockton is known throughout the state and the country as having a very, very well-run housing choice voucher program. The second item is just a letter that I thought you saw, and this is not the only one I received. I received others regarding Melissa, but I wanted the board to see the type of work that our asset managers do and under very stressful situations at time. And people are often criticizing us, but it's nice to see something positive also. So it's a letter that the woman sent to me regarding Melissa. And then finally, there is a primer from our attorneys about mandatory vaccines. The reason I gave this to the board is we may, and I stress may, be required to have mandatory vaccines because we have a contract with the federal government. And if we are required, the board will have to adopt a policy. And we will obviously have that policy vetted by our attorneys, but this gives you an idea. And I can guarantee you, if we have to do that, there will be some people who are happy about it, and there will be some people who are not happy about it. If we don't adopt it, there'll be some people who are happy about that, and some people who are unhappy about that. So it may be a decision that comes down the road. So I want you to see some of the legal opinion on it as of this time.
Tom, we don't have to take action on this at all right now.
No.
We might have to in the future.
Right. President Biden announced a couple of weeks ago that he was instructing the Department of Labor to come up with, under OSHA, regulations that require mandatory vaccination policies to be adopted by any private company over 100, that's not us, or anybody who has a contract with HUD. And we have a contract with HUD. Whether they'll count us or not, I don't know, but I did want you to be prepared.
Any questions on the correspondence?
Tom, can I just ask for Melissa O'Malley? I mean, I'm sure it goes in her folder for her job, but do you do anything other than just add it to her resume? Or, I mean, that's a really nice letter.
Yeah. So what it will go into her personnel file, and what I've done is brought it to a public meeting and announced that she has been, and Melissa knows that she's not here. She didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
That it was being shared with the public, the board and the public.
But other than that, I mean.
No, we don't have a, we take you out to lunch or something like that, or.
Even a gift card, Tom, to Cape Cod Cafe,
Yeah.
dinner for 2,
Yeah.
minus the drinks.
Do you get a lot of letters like that?
I wouldn't say a lot. I get phone calls all the time. To write a letter is a little more, but I do receive, a number of them in a year. And I also, received the messages saying that the asset manager won't let me do something. And I'm
course.
upset about it. So again, that's why I think it's important to recognize when the work they do.
Any other questions on the correspondence? I know we already had the hearing of visitors, but I just want to read off the notice that applies to that, just in case somebody comes in later. Any member of the public is invited to speak before the board. Visitors wishing to be heard will be allowed 3 minutes to speak on each subject. The board will take any issue under advisement and respond at a later date. Total time for the hearing of visitors will be limited to 15 minutes. Item 5, approval of the bills of the regular meeting of September 23rd, 2021, Exhibit B in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Texera.
Commissioner Texera, I meant.
Mr. Chairman, I did have the opportunity to review the bill for the month of July and August. Seems to be in order, so I will make a motion to approve the bill for the regular meeting of September 23rd, 2021 as presented.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner David Texera, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to approve the bills of the regular meeting of September 23rd, 2021 as presented. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
If we have a question about one of the items, is this the time to say it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay. Just curious about the, on 8/12/21 to New England Trauma Services, $2,288.
We used the trauma services for a number of things. I believe that one is for mold. So if we have an apartment that is, has mold, they come in and they do the remediation.
Okay, so it's not really trauma.
Well, the reason they have that name is they started off by going to crime scenes and cleaning up after crime scenes.
I see.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions on the motion that's to do with the bills? We need a roll call, hearing none, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Pettiford,
yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 6, acceptance of resignation of Cheryl Elliott, Director of Accounting, Exhibit C in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
A year ago, Mrs. Elliott came to me and told me she planned on retiring. She did on September 10th. We will miss her. She was a fabulous employee and a fabulous member of our team. So it is accepted with regret.
We need a motion from anybody, and that can just be so moved.
so move,
Second it.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettiford, seconded by Commissioner David Texera. The motion is to accept with regret the resignation of Cheryl Elliott, Director of Accounting, effective September 10th, 2021. Any questions or discussion on the motion? I just wanted to add one thing that should be sadly missed on,
Yes, she
and
will.
we also need a roll call.
Yes. Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes, with great regret.
Commissioner Pettiford,
yes, with regret,
and Commissioner Sullivan.
Yes, with regret as well. Motion carries unanimous. Item 7, acceptance of comment on Brockton Housing Authority's annual plan and approval of Resolution 2104, resolution approving the submission of Brockton Housing Authority's annual plan for fiscal year 2022, Exhibit D in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
So there are two annual plans you're looking at today. One is for the federal government, the other one is for the state. The Fed started years ago. We've done it every year. That's what we're looking at right now. The state liked it so much that they started one and made it much more complicated. So we have advertised this plan. It has been given to the Resident Advisory Board. We've actually met and gave it to the Resident Advisory Board, I believe, at Crosby Gardens. There have been no comments on it, which is not unusual because we share what we're doing with the Resident Advisory Board on a regular basis. And I would recommend that it be approved and submitted to HUD.
Tom, I just wanted to add, because I was at both meetings, Crosby Garden and Caffrey Towers. And you purposely asked people that were not at Crosby Gardens if they got the letter in the mail, and they did. They both received it. So in other words, the point I'm trying to make is everybody on the RAD has received this,
Yes,
and
thank
there
you.
was no questions about it. So we need a motion, item 7.
I make a motion to approve resolution 21-04, resolution approving the submission of the Brockton Housing Authority annual plan for fiscal year 2022.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettiford. Motion is to approve resolution 21-04, resolution approving the submission of the Brockton Housing Authority's annual plan for fiscal year 2022. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. I just wanted to add here before we get too far that we have a quorum. We didn't have to do a roll call for quorum because we did it in the first meeting. But all 5 members are here. We have 100% attendance. Item 8, approval of 2022 state annual plan and 5-year capital plan, Exhibit E in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
So this is the state annual plan, and as I sort of said tongue in cheek that they liked it so much that they made it a lot more complicated, and they did. But there's a lot of good information in this. It shows our maintenance plans, it shows our preventive maintenance plans, it shows our budget, it shows our capital plan. So if you want to really see how the state budget works and the state public housing program works, it's a nice little, it's not little, it's a nice document to take a look and see different things at. We have gone through this. It's the second year we've done it. I believe it's all in order. And again, it's an accumulation of the work that we've done over the last 20 years. So we've been working right along with the RAB, any policies in there they've seen before they actually went to the board. So I recommend that it be approved and submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development.
I just wanted to say, if anybody's going on vacation, take this plan with you. You'll need a whole week to read it. But we need a motion on item 8, Ernie.
So move.
And a second.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettiford, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to approve the Brockton Housing Authority's 2022 annual plan and 5-year capital plan as presented. Any discussion or questions on item 8? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. And I just wanted to add, I know it's a little late in this, but this meeting is being recorded. So be real careful on what you say. Item 9, appointment of Assistant Executive Director, Exhibit F in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is an item that I'm very enthusiastic about. As you know, back in 2013, we eliminated or didn't fill the Assistant Executive Director position. And the ensuing years, we built up our reserves so that we could move forward. Now is the time, based upon our reorganization plan, that I believe it should be filled. We are very, very lucky to have such a capable person on our staff, Mr. Thomas Plouffe. As you know, prior to coming here, he's a licensed attorney, practicing attorney, that he was formerly a city solicitor for 9 years. He has represented the Housing Authority and the city of Brockton in some very big items and shepherded us through these things. So again, I think we're very lucky to have such a great candidate. And I look forward to working with him on many of the initiatives that we have going now. I'll turn it over to Commissioner Sullivan and Roberts if you want to make any comments who were involved in the interview process.
If I could, I'd like to jump in first. I was at the hearing or the meeting where questions were we had them written down. We also had our own questions that we could ask. But the meeting lasted 45 minutes to an hour, and every one of the questions was answered thoroughly by Mr. Plouffe. And my feeling was that he would be an excellent candidate for this position. Carol, did you have anything?
Oh, you said it all. I'm just saying, welcome aboard, Tom.
Thank you.
Not yet. We got a vote in bed, Carol.
Well,
He's really
It's
on
coming
board
though.
already.
yeah. Thank you, Janet.
If we need a motion on item 9.
I make a motion to appoint Tom Plouffe of Brockton, Mass. To the position of Assistant Executive Director at the annual salary of $150,000 effective Monday, September 27, 2021.
Second,
A motion's been made by Commissioner David Texera, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to appoint Mr. Thomas Plouffe of Brockton, Massachusetts, to the position of Assistant Executive Director at the annual salary of $150,000 per year, effective Monday, September 27th, 2021. Any discussion or questions on that motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes, with pleasure.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Commissioner, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. I just want to add one thing, Tom. Just like anybody first starting, we put our tenants first, and I hope you keep doing it.
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. And now I know how everybody else who comes before the board that I talk about feels. So thank you very much.
If I could just add, and I meant to say this before, Mr. Plouffe is a lifelong resident of Brockton. His home is in Brockton today. He's involved in Brockton. He knows the city. He knows where we want to go. So not only will he serve the Housing Authority well, we've always said if the Housing Authority does well, the city does well. So I think it's not only is this board making the Housing Authority better, but you're contributing to the future betterment of the city by bringing Mr. Plouffe on in this position.
Just want to add that he served as a city council in Ward 2 for 6 years.
I did.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Texera, it's a tough position, I have to tell you.
We'll find out.
We hope so.
Thank you for your service, Mr. Plouffe.
Tom, will you change your office now to a different office? Are you staying?
I'm staying right here.
Just checking.
I got too much stuff in here.
As I said before, that motion carries unanimous. Welcome aboard, Tom.
Thank you.
Item 10. Appointment of clerk typist, maintenance department, exhibit G in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
So as the board knows, Melissa Padilla was I'll move to the Bel Air High Rise, opening up the position down in the maintenance department. I'll let Mr. Pluff speak on this, and then I'll follow up after he does.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow, members of the board. In August, we advertised in the Enterprise, the Patriot Ledger, the Taunton Gazette, online with Indeed and Wicked Local, posted internally for an opening downstairs in the maintenance department. My memo was incorrect. We received 6 resumes. It shows us the job market. We used to get 40 and 50. Mr. DeChristopher, the Director of Facilities, Ms. Fort, who is the Maintenance Office Manager, and this is one of her first interviews. It's great seeing new young managers coming into positions. Reviewed the interview, reviewed the resumes, and interviewed candidates. And we've decided that Ms. Ryan Cheatham of Brockton would be a great fit for the job. She's worked part-time in the maintenance office and for the Brockton Housing Authority off and on for years. She knows our systems downstairs in the maintenance department. She answers the calls efficiently, effectively, with grace and cheerfulness for the tenants. She knows our computer system. She knows the protocols, what to do when we get a call. She has a bachelor's degree from Bridgewater State. I think we're lucky to get her, and that I would ask the board to appoint her.
If I could add, my observations of Ms. Cheatham is that she is a person of good character, professional. She deals, Mr. Chairman, she is certainly understands our residents and deals with them professionally, passionately, with empathy, and is also well-liked by her co-workers.
And she can dance too.
She can dance.
It's not one of the job qualifications.
She is with us today, as you can see.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hello.
Hang on a minute, right? We gotta get you in here. We need a
Sure.
motion on item 10. Ernie,
Yeah, make a motion that we so move it.
Second,
a motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettiford, seconded by Commissioner David Texera. Motion is to appoint Ryan Cheatham of Brockton, Mass. To the position of clerk typist effective September 27, 2021 at the step 1 rate of $41,844 per annum. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Commissioner Sullivan.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Ryan, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah, sure.
Are you on your telephone? Because the picture's so small.
I'm on the iPad at the moment.
Yeah.
It's the smallest picture I ever seen.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And she's from Campello to boot.
Yes,
Yes,
I used to work at Campello.
No, she used to work at the Campbell High Rise, Commissioner Trask.
But
Yeah.
your address, I think of as where you live.
Yes, yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Congratulations,
I have a question.
Ryan.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Tom, you had a question?
No, you do. Don't you have one more question?
I know, I was just gonna make the little statement. Ryan, I know you've already been here before, but this is what I tell I showed it to Tom earlier. Tom Pluff. Every new person coming into the housing authority, we treat or consider our tenants as number one. We have the highest amount of regard for them, and we do anything for them, almost anything. And we're hoping that you do the same thing, that you carry that whole idea with you. And the idea is, if we don't have the tenants, we don't need you, and they don't need me. We're not gonna be here. So we have to keep them happy.
Yes.
Normally, you'd be at a meeting, we could shake your hand, we could say congratulations, but I'll say it anyway. Congratulations without the handshake.
Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Item 11, appointment of receptionist, Exhibit H in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Plouffe to speak on this?
Thank you, Mr. Tebow, members of the board. This year, we had a domino effect. Kim Boyd retired. You appointed Dawn Ogden to fill her job. Then the receptionist moved laterally into her position. And so the receptionist position at 1090 was open. We had interviewed last November for this position, Mrs. Rose, Mrs. Mallard and I. And one of the candidates that we interviewed, we still had in our minds. And according to the union contract, within a year, we could continue to use that pool without going out to an advertisement again. And so we called Myra Durden to see if she was interested. She came in and interviewed. Our original interviews were by Zoom, and she was very impressive by Zoom, but even more impressive in person. Myra had impressed us during our interview as being very calm, very comfortable with people. She works as a receptionist now at a radio station. She previously worked for the city of Quincy in a busy office where the public was coming in. So she's used to being a receptionist and being a receptionist in a busy office. And we feel that Myra will do well down at 1090 Main Street at the Surgery Building. It's a busy office.
If I could add on to that, Myra's here today. I don't know, Myra, if you can turn on your camera and your microphone. Hello, Myra. So I had the opportunity to meet with her. I came away very impressed. She is extremely pleasant. She is someone I think we would be proud to have as the face of the Housing Authority at 1090 Main Street as people come in. So we had some very nice discussions. I do want to warn the board, there's one thing you might want to consider. She is a New York Yankees fan.
Oh, no.
I'm
Cut it out.
Tebow, I didn't know that.
It's okay,
No.
Maya.
We're ahead right now, so it's all right, Myra. You're all right. You're all right.
Okay.
Okay.
But I was very impressed with her, and I do think she will be not only a good addition for the Housing Authority, for the residents, but also for that office down there and working with so many others.
I just wanted to say, Mark, you seem to have a great personality. And I just love it when somebody laughs like that. You're perfect for the job.
Thank you.
We need a motion, item 11. Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes, so move with that commission, with that appointment.
Second,
in a second. From anybody?
second,
Second,
A motion's been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat, seconded by Commissioner David Texera. Motion is to appoint Myra Durden of Rockland, Mass. To the position of receptionist effective October 12th, 2021, at the step one rate of $41,844 per annum. Any questions or discussion on that motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Welcome aboard, Myra.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Myra, normally you're at the meeting, we can shake your hand and congratulate you, but I just wanted to say the same thing I said to Tom and Ryan. We treat our tenants as number one, and we're hoping you do the same thing. We realize if somebody's gonna have a bad day, they could walk up to you and start screaming at you for no reason at all. It's just that they're having a bad day. They're not mad at you, they're mad at the world.
Right.
The same thing as I told Ryan and Tom. If we don't have the tenants, we don't need you and they don't need me. We're gone. We don't have the tenants. We gotta keep them happy.
That's
Welcome
right.
aboard.
Thank you so much.
I just,
appreciate
one
it.
quick, you're not gonna start till October 12th?
Yes.
What, do you have to give a notice where you were, where you are?
Yes.
It looks
Yes.
like a movie. You were over here. You hit that, just touch it.
Who's talking?
Item 12,
Thank you, Myra.
Thank you so much.
and welcome
Thank you,
aboard.
Myra. Look forward to seeing you, Myra.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Item 12, appointment of emissions voucher screener, Exhibit I in the packets. Mr. Tebow?
If I can ask Mr. Pluff to speak on this? Tom, you're on mute.
Every time I say something brilliant. Thank you, Mr. Tebow, members of the board. As you can see, the HR department's been very busy.
Mhm.
So the admissions department used to be admitting people to our 2,000 public housing units, our tall buildings, our complexes, our developments. And our voucher program was pretty small. Well, over the years, our voucher program kept on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And we realized that the admissions department needed somebody dedicated just to screening for vouchers. And so we created the position, and Ms. Morse was hired in 2018. But since that time, we've taken on even more voucher programs. HUD has brought in a mainstream program for homeless disabled people, an emergency housing program for homeless individuals that we're taking referrals from Father Bill's. And Marjorie has worked through this fantastically. It's unbelievable how well she's been pushing these through with Mrs. Rose to the Section 8 department and getting this done. So in light of all this new work, we approached the union and said, hey, you know, this position really isn't a clerk's position. It's higher than a clerk's position. This is what we think the job description should be. The union pushed back a little, they agreed. And so we're recommending that Marjorie Morse be put into the position of voucher screener, which is a promotion.
If I can make a comment on it, I look at employees two ways. One is competence, and Ms. Morse has extreme competence. I don't think this will be the last time you see her in front of the board if she desires to grow within the housing authority. And second, I look at the type of character they are and how they work well with others, our residents and our applicants and their coworkers. And she excels in that also. So she's a great employee, works well in a team, and is very bright, knows what she's doing. So I think, again, another one of our star players here.
Tom, could I ask you one question before we vote on this? I'm looking at the pay. And I noticed it's 47.5. And right underneath there is leased housing associates at 49,000. What's the difference in how come there's such a difference in the amount?
I will tell you, Mr. Chairman, the reason the difference is that in our union contract, based upon what you're currently making, if you're getting a promotion, it has to be at least 5% more than you're currently making. So the other people who are getting the promotions in the next position have all been here at least 4 years, where Marjorie's been here 3 years, and based upon her steps, that's what it is. The pay rate is the same for this position and the next position, so the band in the contract is the same. But because those people have been here longer, they're at a higher step. See, they're at step 3 and she's at step 1. It's because of their years of being here.
We need a motion, item 12. Mr.
So moved.
Pettiford,
So
Second.
move. Thank you.
and a second. Okay, I got you.
Dave
Second.
seconded.
Who seconded that?
Dave Texeria.
A motion's been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner David Texera. Motion is to appoint Marjorie Morse of Randolph, Mass. To the position of admissions voucher screener effective September 27, 2021, at the step 1 rate of $47,500 per annum. Any questions or discussions on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Marjorie, if I could just jump in with a little comment. I know you've already been here for a while, but I'm just gonna say the same thing to you. We put our tenants first. Think of them that way, and
Absolutely.
you'll go a long way in this company. I
Absolutely.
just wanted to add one thing. When I first seen you up there, I thought you were your sister. I just seen her last night. I couldn't believe how much you
Well,
look
she's
like her.
there's a difference in age, so I'll take that as a compliment.
Big difference in the voice, but the looks are the same. And normally you're at the meeting, Marjorie, we can congratulate you, shake your hand, but we can't do that because of COVID-19. But congratulations, we'll get
Exactly.
together at another
Thank you.
time and
Thank
celebrate.
you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, Marjorie. As
Congratulations.
a former person it was tenant selection when I was there. I understand the job. I understand how difficult it is to talk to everybody who comes through the door every day because they're not having their best day. But you do a great job at it. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Tom Pluff,
Yes,
is there anybody left in Brockton Housing? Seems like we're filling in every position.
we got more. Next month,
You're kidding.
Yeah.
we got more. Tom was saying this just the other day at a meeting, that we're going to have about a third of our staff in new positions, either new hires or they've moved positions. Tim, every time we do a promotion, it makes another promotion and another and a fill in entry level. So depending on how high up it was the person who was promoted,
Okay.
it's a lot of work for the HR department.
Item 13, appointment of 3 leased housing associates, Exhibit J in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
I could ask Mr. Pluff to speak first.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow, members of the board. As part of the organizational review done by TAG Associates, they recommended that the leased housing department, which is, I would say, our biggest clerical department, have a step process that's similar to the old civil service steps, where you had a clerk, then a senior clerk, that type of order. So we approached the union. We prepared a job description, Ms. Bonnie and I, and approached the union with a position of leased housing associate, which is a step up from the home ownership leasing agent, but underneath the office manager, so that it gives the people work in that department, so you're not working for 20 years at the entry-level position before the one opening for office manager comes. So that was the recommendation of tag, which we acted upon. We had 3 employees who were eligible based upon the job description, which said you had to have been at least 4 years as a home ownership leasing agent. Crystal Guerrera, Patricia DeGrosliers, and Karen Pachulis apply. And I think they're all here. If that's Crystal on the telephone, her son had a dentist today. And so she was going to call in. So I believe that's her. All of them have worked in the department. Crystal since 2013, 8 years. Patricia DeGrosliers since March of 15, 6 years. And Ms. Pachulis, even though her resume says 17, it's really 16. She's been here 5 years. So they've worked as home ownership leasing agents for a number of years, doing a great job, working through the COVID pandemic, working at home, taking laptops, printing work here, which was a big chore. So we're very excited to have this opportunity for these employees.
If I could add to that, I'm quite excited about this. It's something that I thought should have happened some time ago. As you saw, and I think it's now 16 or 17 straight years that the Rental Assistance Department has been determined by HUD as being a high performer. And that's not because of the work I do. That's because of the work that Karen, Patricia, and Crystal do and their counterparts. Again, we're well known in the state. HUD came to us to administer Chatham West and Pine Grove because of the reputation. It's because of the work that these people do. So it's much deserved. As I said, I wish it could have happened sooner, but I'm very excited in the 3 that we have here today. Crystal, Patricia, and Karen are, again, top-notch people who work well with others in often difficult circumstances.
Tom, Tebow, is Sue Keating on the air?
Sue Keating is down the Cape on some golf course.
Oh,
So we're recording this and she'll be doing the minutes from that.
the reason I'm asking, I've been doing this for about 20 years now. I've never seen it all grouped together, 3 people on one motion. This is the first time it's ever happened. Should it be done separately?
I don't believe it needs to be. Mr. Pluff put that together. Do you have an opinion on that, Mr. Pluff?
I don't. You can do it however you'd like, Mr. Chairman. I believe I have done them together before for maintenance men who were hired at the same time. But it's up to you.
Well, would there be a problem later on down the road if it has to be done over? We put them all together? And Sue Keating wants it
I
broken
don't
up?
believe it will be a problem.
All right, so we'll leave it as is. Plus, it's a good way of saving paper.
That's right.
We need a motion, item 13, Commissioner Pettiford,
And make a motion, so move.
and a second.
Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettiford, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask, to appoint 3 leased housing associates. Crystal Guerrera of Bridgewater, Mass., Patricia DeGrolios of Bridgewater, Mass., and Karen Pachelis of East Bridgewater, Mass., to the position of leased housing associate effective September 21st, 2021, at the 2021 Step 3 rate of $49,000 per annum. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
I believe, Mr. Chairman, it's September 27th, 2021. I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
What did I say, Tom?
21st.
Oh, sorry. It is September 27th, 2021. We need a roll call. Hearing none. Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Are these three women still here?
They
Yes.
are.
They
I'm
are.
gonna get this out real quick. Put the tenants first. Think of it as, that's what we're asking you to do, and welcome aboard, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank
We'll
you.
celebrate at a later
Thank
date.
you.
I think they know how to celebrate too, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yeah?
I have no firsthand knowledge. I just think they have great personalities, I'm sure. You know how.
Well, they do. They know how to celebrate. They, down at the Surgery Building, there are often celebrations for retirements, for birthdays in the break room. Right, Marjorie? So,
Good for them.
Something else for Campello, Janice.
Yes,
Nice celebrations.
And we want to see good Christmas decorations up there this year.
Okay,
In the windows, in those beautiful windows.
Hmm.
uh-oh, where's Linda Mallett? She's in charge of that.
I'll let her know.
I see her walking behind you every once in a while.
Yeah, I'll let her know. I want you to be in charge of the Christmas decorations.
You better mute, Marjorie.
you better mute now.
You better mute. Marjorie, you better mute it right now.
item 14. Appointment of home ownership leasing agent, Exhibit K in the packets. There's another job, Tom.
Yes, it
We're gonna
is.
hire everybody tonight.
If I could ask
Mr. Tebow?
Mr. Plouffe to speak, I'm sorry, if I could ask Mr. Plouffe to speak.
So, because of the resignation of Joanne Butler and then the promotion of Diana, and her last name is
Cavallo.
Cavallo, there is an opening in the leased housing department. Adora, you've heard a lot about the leased housing department today, how many years in a row they've won top place in HUD competitions. So you're going into an office that really shines. So we advertised in the Enterprise, the Patriot Ledger, the Taunton Gazette, Indeed.com, and Wicked Local for this opening. Ms. Bonnie and Ms. Collymore, who is, I'll say, office manager for just about 1 year now, interviewed the candidates. We decided that Ms. Barros would be a great fit here at the Housing Authority because of her varied work experience. So she has worked in retail at Nordstrom's, which is a high-end store, working her way up to assistant manager. So having to deal with the very specific, dealing with money and customers, but she's also worked in a group home as an assistant manager there, filled with empathy for the people living in the group home. So this mix of empathy plus having your files perfect for HUD is just what we want for the leased housing. It reminds me of Chris Lane Bonnie. And so we're very happy. She's also bilingual in English and Cape Verdean Creole. So.
If I could just add on to what Mr. Plouffe said, I had the opportunity to speak with Ms. Barros. She is a Brocktonian, although she went over the line. She's in Abington now. She is a person with a lot of energy, a former gymnast, as we spoke of at Brockton High, and still has family in the city, as I said. But again, a person of high energy. If on her cover letter, it says hardworking. I can't imagine her not being hardworking. And as Mr. Plouffe said, working within a group home You have to have a tremendous amount of empathy in that role. So Ms. Barros is here with us today, and I would recommend that she be appointed to the position. And one other thing, just to make sure, this is for you, Ms. Barros, and for the board, our average tenure is closer to 30 years than 1 year. So the people you're hiring today will be with us for some longer than I'll be here for the most part. So I do want, there are opportunities for people here if you work hard and treat, as the chairman says, treat our participants in a professional and empathetic manner.
We need a motion, item 14.
So move.
Commissioner. Was that you, Jenna?
No, it was Carol, but I second it.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to appoint Adora Barros of Abington, Mass. To the position of a home ownership leasing agent effective September 27th, 2021 at the step 1 rate of $42,408 per annum. Any discussion or questions on the motion? I just had one, Adora. I was reading your work experience. You should be applying for a doctor instead of a leasing agent.
Along the line, I will, maybe. Thank you, though.
If no other questions, we need a roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. And I'll tell you the same thing, Adora. We're not at a meeting. We can't shake your hand or congratulate you. We're on the computers. But welcome aboard. Treat our tenants as number one, and you'll go a long way in this company. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Item 15. You've been waiting for this one, Tom. Executive Director's Report, Exhibit L in your packets. Mr. Tebow.
I write it down so that I can quickly go through it. I just want to mention something that's not on here. I went to the Campello Businessmen's Association, Business Persons Association earlier this week. And a number of comments were made about 1090 Main Street and how well it was cared for. And they were just great, very happy to have us as neighbors. That made me feel good about being there. Rent collections, I think it's important for the board to know there is a program known as SHARA, Subsidized Housing Emergency Rental Assistance. We're working through that. We've received over $100,000 now. It was 60 when I wrote this. It's over 100 as of yesterday morning. So that's working well. We're doing everything we can to keep our residents in tenancy. Some are probably going to have to be coerced into staying and working with us to pay their rent. So we're working with that way. We have several big initiatives out where we're putting an application in for moving to work. That gives us a lot of flexibility in how we do our finances. So, you know, if we have a lot of money in one account, right now we can't spend that in another account. Well, if we get this designation, that would help us there. And there's so many other benefits to that. Relief from regulations, and we're looking forward to that. Fair market rents, we have appealed the fair market rents. We don't believe they reflect Brockton's market right now. And we believe that if we don't appeal them and get them higher, that, you know, the people get vouchers from us will only be able to live in the poorest part of town. And that's not right either. And then Section 18 application, I did get word this morning that they expect to have it approved next week. So that would be wonderful. That's for the Campello high rise. So we're moving along with that. Chris Barry, eventually we're going to have to talk about expanding his operation because if we are successful with this, there'll be a tremendous amount of money coming in. We had a meeting this morning and Chris was, he left a little shaken because we're telling him he's getting all this money. And it's difficult to spend money in the public sector, do it the right way and get all the work done. But we are excited about some of the things coming forward on that. And then the final thing I did, we have just about completed the work over at Sullivan Towers in the garden out back, and I'd like to talk to the board at some time about doing a little dedication. That's from the funds that Representative Cronin got set aside for that building. So we are looking forward to that. And we'll probably dress it up a little bit and have a little cheese and cracker type thing over there.
Bring your own.
No, the Housing Authority can spring for some cheese and crackers.
We need a motion, item 15.
So move.
And a second.
Second it.
A motion's been made by Commissioner David Texera, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat. Motion is to accept the Executive Director's Report for September 23rd, 2021, and put on file. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask.
Yes.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Tom, I just wanted to add one thing. We talked about the, if it comes out that they have to be vaccinated by the president, that there's no charge for the people that are working here. I know there's no charge right now, but who knows, a couple of weeks from now, all of a sudden they charge you.
Yeah,
I'd like to get it in there that it would be the same as today, free of charge.
if this happens, Mr. Chairman, I would ask that the board appoint a subcommittee and that we work on the policy together so that, you know, whatever the board would like to see in that policy comes through.
Well,
Go on.
The reason why we're approving it today, but I'd like to keep it as,
No, we're not approving anything today.
we talked about it today, and I'd like to leave it as, it's, the shot is free to anybody who needs it. Because you're talking like later on down the road, it might be mandatory. And who
Yes.
knows about the price? It could go to $200.
Well, we can talk about a number of things on it. You know, I've thought about, do we say to everybody who got the vaccination, you know, here's $200, here's $500. I mean, companies have done that.
Yeah.
But I did want you to know it may be something that, and just so you could think about it, listen to, you know, when you listen to the news, other companies are doing it now. What are the positives of it? What are the negatives of it? What should we anticipate? That kind of stuff.
Okay. Item 16, review of financial comparatives, Exhibit M in your packets, Mr. Tebow.
Mr. Pacious. if you could speak on
Yes.
this.
Thank you. So the financial statements that you have here in front of you, the comparatives, cover us up to the end of July, so July 31st of this year. So far, all the programs are running as we anticipated. The 689.2 has a slight deficit, but again, that goes back to an issue of the rent money that we charge to that particular program and has to be renegotiated. So that's about all.
Mhm.
Mr. Pacious, what is 689.2? What is that?
I believe that's the special needs program.
The Tony DeVega House.
Tony DeVega House, yes.
And what's
Yep.
678 North Main Street?
678 North Main Street, that's part of the 689-1
Edwina
program.
Martin.
Edwina Martin
Yeah.
program, yes.
Oh, okay.
So the difference being, Edwina Martin, we actually charge less per room, but they have 21 rooms. Over at the Tony DeVega House, they only have 8 rooms, and the state has we haven't raised the rent on Edwina Martin House in 20 years, and it still performs fine. The rent over at the Tony DeVega House, we told from day one wasn't high enough. We got them to adjust it a bit last year. We'll do it again this year. I mean, we're not spending a lot there. We go over and we fix a couple of things. We do the exterminations if it needs to be done. It just doesn't, it's a very, and we pay some bills.
And there's some pretty vulnerable people living in both of those places, correct?
Yes. Yeah, and both of them are in very good shape. We go in and do an inspection once a year. We meet with the Department of Mental Health. We meet with the provider at Wiener Martin House, and we inspect it. We go through anything that needs to be repaired, upgraded.
Just one comment, Mr. Pacius. Look, again, it's a job well done. We have one little deficit of $900, but all the rest are surpluses. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. We need a motion, item 16.
So move.
Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to accept the financial comparatives for the period ending July 31st, 2021, and put on file. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 17.
Tom, can I just ask a question? The Tony DeVega House, do we have anybody from the Brockton Housing Authority who actually works there? Or is it the Department of Mental Health that has staff people there?
Department of Mental Health has staff people there.
Okay.
Item 17, award of contract. UFAS Site Improvements, Manning Tower, Project 24-3, Exhibit M in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Barry to start, Mr. Barry, if you could just explain what UFAS is first.
UFAS is actually the federal requirements of ADA compliance. So that would be any of the curb cuts, slopes on the sidewalks, door access. Again, it's just because we're using the federal monies, we use the term UFAS on it. That was being said, on July 7th, capital improvement solicited site contractors for the 23 Manning Tower, -4, I'm sorry, 24-3 Manning Tower UFAS site improvements. Then on July 21st, a public online bid opening was held with receiving 4 bids. Bids range between $299,705 and $429,000. Coastal Excavation Corp., the apparent low bidder with a total bid of $299,705, was deemed to be responsive and responsible after review of the bid documents and the reference checks. We would recommend an award of contract to Coastal Excavation Corp. of 48 Mary Avenue, Duxbury, Mass. in the amount of $299,705 for the 24-3 Manning Tower UFAS site improvement project. Any questions?
I just have one, we have a little correction. On my paper, it says item M in the packets, and it's item N. 16 is M, so 17 should be N. Just a minor correction for
Chairman.
everybody.
Yep.
We need a motion, item 17.
So moved.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to award a contract in the amount of $299,705 for the 24-3 Manning Tower UFAS site improvement project. Any questions or discussions on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Yeah, Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera. Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Commissioner Sullivan.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
This will address some of the issues that were brought up at the RAB meeting on Tuesday.
Item 18, approval of change order number 1, HVAC improvements and roof replacement, Richard J. Surgery Administrative Building, Exhibit O in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
I could ask Mr. Barry to speak on this, please.
Yes, thank you. Yes, so this change order comes down to mostly is the sheet metal work at the Richard Surgery building. What ends up happening is the duct work, we call for round duct work throughout the ceiling area down there. But it ended up with the different heights of ceilings and them being concrete. We ran into issues utilizing the round. Therefore, we had to switch over to sheet the square or rectangular ductwork, which basically doubles the cost. We went back and forth numerous times with them about the pricing and back and just to get the pricing down. Along with that, it was 30-day time extension request. We would recommend, though, to approve this change order in the amount of $17,175 for the 30-day time extension to Apex Corp. of 56 Charles Street, Abington, Mass. For the Richard J. Surgery Building.
We need a motion, item 18.
So move it.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettiford, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to approve change order number 1 in the amount of $17,175 and a 30-day time extension to Apex Corporation of Abington, Mass. For HVAC improvements and roof replacement at the Richard J. Surgery Administrative Building. Any questions or discussion on that motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Trask.
yes, no, I said yes, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I didn't hear. Commissioner Pettiford
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Item 19, old business. Any old business? I have one item, Mr. Tebow.
Yes, please.
I was at Bel Air Tower about a year ago for something else. I was there. It was on that needle program being sent back to the police department and stuff. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, there's people still living in that building that are waiting till this day to have a dedication of the Tony DeVega house. The reason I brought it up is we mentioned it tonight that it's there's a deficit there, but it has never been formally dedicated. And the person who meant, you know the guy. In fact, his name is Ernie. He is somehow related to Tony DeVega. I'm not sure how. He told me that, but I know his girlfriend has passed away. He wanted it done sooner than later. So there's at least a few people still alive that will go to it. If you can put that on your agenda,
I certainly.
a formal dedication,
Yep.
and put the name up there.
I have his photograph over here, a nice portrait that we should put up. I actually thought the other day whether I should just bring it up there and have something, but we'll do something. I do know some of his family members, Marguerite Bone. It was his aunt who still lives at Earl Street, and his cousins. We can follow up with them.
This was Ernie. What is he, the
Ernie,
vice president?
Yep, I know.
He's related to him somehow.
I know they were good friends.
And I know his girlfriend has passed away,
Yes.
but just before, now, just to make sure that there's somebody still around. who knew him. He was a nice guy.
Yes, yes, he very was.
Is there any other old business? Hearing none. Item 20, new business.
I
Any new
have,
business?
I have one item, Mr. Chairman. I was wondering if that hat you're wearing, if you're gonna wear that on October 3rd when the Buccaneers come to town.
I thought it was October 4th, but I am gonna wear it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I feel like it's my team now.
Yeah, I cheer for him myself, but I'm still torn.
I am too, to be honest. Any other new business? Tom, that would come under the monkey business, not the new.
Does that get recorded?
It did.
Yes, it
did.
does.
Yeah. It did.
Item
Wait, is it-
21, we need a motion. Don't leave, we gotta do a roll call too. A motion from anybody? Item 21,
Motion to adjourn?
yes.
Second it.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettiford. Meeting is adjourned. A roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Texera,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries. Unanimous. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you all.
see
Thank you
ya.
very much.
Yep.